This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, a book of condolence for the Duke of Edinburgh's passing has opened in Dunedin. A group of toughened southern youths have pulled a huge truck in Invercargill. And there's a new team looking after the Frankton Motor Camp in Queenstown. Tēnā koutou katoa, ngā mihi o te ahiahi nei, kia ora, I'm Simon Anderson. A condolence book has opened in Dunedin's St Paul's Cathedral to mark the passing of His Royal Highness Prince Philip. The Duke of Edinburgh passed away at age 99 on Friday evening New Zealand time, and his death has sparked mourning around the globe.
News of the Duke of Edinburgh's passing at 99 years of age spread across the globe rapidly at the weekend, with a condolence book being opened on Sunday at St Paul's Cathedral in Dunedin. The President of the Victoria League in Otago says Her Majesty the Queen will be well supported, but still deep in grief.
And the nation and the Commonwealth will support her and guide her and love her, but she's still going to be alone and probably quite bewildered. And even though it may have been an expected death, I think it's still going to be jolly difficult for her.
Christine Bell doesn't believe the Queen will step down, as in abdicate, but she is sure their eldest son, Prince Charles, will take on more duties and then the throne in due course.
We will see a King Charles in a few years. I'm sure the Queen's got a few more years to celebrate her life yet. It's just going to be a very hard road for her at the moment. But I'm sure Prince Charles will step up and take over some of her duties, and he will be fine. He will be absolutely fine.
The Queen and Prince Philip visited Dunedin multiple times during Queen Elizabeth's reign. The last time was in 2002 when they met then Mayor Suki Turner. It's been said the late Duke didn't want a big funeral, and due to COVID-19 regulations in the UK, modest arrangements have been made. However, Bell believes something bigger may happen later this year.
But I'm rather hoping, once the restrictions have been lifted mid-year, that they will hold a state memorial service for him, perhaps in Westminster. I think it would be nice if the royal family had something for him, but it would need some forward planning and some organisation, which I am sure Buckingham Palace is very capable of doing.
The condolence book is currently available for people to share their thoughts and prayers for Prince Philip until 2 p.m. daily at Dunedin's St Paul's Cathedral. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Science advisor Trudy Webster says yellow-eyed penguins are increasingly threatened on the mainland of New Zealand. She says without human intervention, the species will be gone from Southland and Otago, as well as Stewart Island. The bird's numbers remain critically low, despite the number of fledgling chicks slightly increasing this year to 151. Webster says human help will remain integral to the survival of the species on the mainland until some of the big issues within the marine environment are fixed. A revamp of the former Frankton Motor Camp will return to its roots as an authentic Kiwi-style campground. The camp's new manager says she expects to open in December with more than 100 tent, caravan and motorhome sites, plus a dozen new cabins, all at an affordable rate.
After being closed for over a year, the former Frankton Motor Camp is set to undergo a revamp to be overseen and funded by long-time Te Anau camping ground operators Georgia and Brian McCleary, plus Rochelle Pacious.
We know that Kiwis work really hard for their money, so for us it's about making something that's not only affordable but really amazing value for money.
Owned by the Queenstown Lakes District Council, the site had, over the years, morphed away from its intended purpose, becoming a place of permanent residence.
We're really interested in what the outcome's going to be, which is obviously bringing people to our fantastic district and I guess converting this back to what it was many, many years ago, as a place that Kiwi families can come and the kids can grow up and have fun.
The site is now cleared of nearly all the residents' dwellings, with the lessees planning new cabins, shower and toilet hubs, a playground and even spa pools.
We've got around 130 tent, caravan and motorhome sites. So there's ones whether it's the family in a caravan and the kids are in a tent, we've got space for everyone. So space was one of our key factors. Yep. We've got about 12 cabins going in as well. So whether that's just people travelling on a budget and still want to have the luxury of being in a room, or there's issues with the camper van, which can sometimes happen. So everything's going to have lake views, and then we've got a big modern facility hub. So that's going to be everyone's home away from home. It's where they can keep warm in winter, open the big doors up in summer, take in the beautiful views, and just really have that amazing Kiwi atmosphere.
It's hoped the new campground will be open in time for the Christmas holidays. In Queenstown, the South Today.
Staying in Queenstown, salsa and Latin dance got a boost at a recent 3-day dance festival. All manner of dancing acts took to the stage at the Queenstown Memorial Centre for the resort's inaugural Salsa and Latin Dance Festival. Leading up to the event, around 200 dance enthusiasts from across New Zealand spent 3 days in the Wakatipu region taking part in boot camps and dance classes. The event culminated with a salsa party featuring performances from both dance teams and instructors before the floor opened for social dancing. A team of 24 youths have pulled a heavy fire truck along D Street in Invercargill to mark the end of an 8-week-long course. The course required these teens to undergo a physical training regime as well as career education and mentoring.
Before pulling this hefty fire truck through Invercargill city centre, these 23 youngsters underwent yet another gruelling day of activities. It was the final day in an 8-week course called Combined Adolescent Cadet Training Unit and Support, with 3 one-hour training sessions per week of progressively harder physical routines, as well as career education, motivational speakers and mentoring.
We've been running it for 10 years. It's a nationwide program. It just builds teamwork and confidence and just life skills for these children going forward. And you see that, they grow in this 8 weeks. It's just amazing.
The final day started at 5:30 a.m. with activities at Oreti Beach and in town, culminating in the team pulling a fire truck several hundred metres down D Street.
Just an awesome 8 weeks of fun and teamwork and I'm just so proud of these kids, they're amazing. They've done so well.
The team were supported and encouraged by pupils from Te Wharakura or Orowhenua Maori High School. In Invercargill, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today, an Oamaru school receives a new name and Gore hosts a ploughing contest, breaking new ground. Ka kite a koe nei.
Inside are all sorts of innovations from all over China.
Hi, it's Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. Our 3 stores have got a deal for you. We're going hard, we're going early, so we've gone hard on the prices, 50% off, a great selection. Shorts, look at all these shorts. T-shirts, they're all half price. Check out all those tees along there. What about all these ones down here? Also at a great saving, 50% off. We're going hard, we're going early. Polo shirts, short sleeve shirts, there's such a variety.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
It's the Alex Campbell Menswear. Go hard, go early, summer sale. Don't miss this one.
Ah, TV, our favourite babysitter. But it can be tough keeping up with what our tamariki are watching. Luckily, the Broadcasting Standards Authority has made some smart changes to the classification labels. Ooh! Plus changes to the time of day certain rated shows will air and awesome new parental lock features, meaning your babysitter's job is safe. Find out more at safeviewing.co.nz.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
No mai nor, welcome back. A community event to celebrate the autumn apple harvest was held in Wanaka. The event attracted over 70 people who learned how to make chutney and other delicious treats from apples which were surplus to this year's harvest.
Cutting and peeling, dicing and slicing. Surplus produce got the chop at the Autumn Apple Drive in Wanaka's Ripon Hall. Now in its 7th year, the event celebrates the autumn apple harvest and encourages the community to avoid wasting food.
The original reason was all about reducing food waste. So we used to see so many apple trees just absolutely laden at this time of year with apples falling on the ground. So the idea was to make the most of that produce and bring people together and get them to learn how to make their own chutney and to do the communal pressing into juice as well, so that people can take it away for some fresh juice or turn it into apple cider or apple cider vinegar.
More than 70 people took part in the production line to process the fruit that would otherwise be going to waste.
So everyone that comes along gets to get involved, they do some chopping, they do some mulching, they do some pressing, and they get to take away a jar of chutney and a bit of fresh juice which they can use how they like.
Most volunteers were looking forward to taking home a jar of chutney, while some others had grander culinary ambitions.
I think this is the 6th or 7th time I've helped run this event. It's really good for learning how to make chutney. I learned all my chutney making skills right here in this kitchen.
I'm gonna make some fruit tart, some buns, some strudel, kind of strudel, so a little of sweet stuff.
The leftover food is donated to community events and the local food bank. In Wanaka, the South Today.
A new name with culturally significant ties to the land and coast has been given to a North Otago primary school. The name was unveiled in a ceremony attended by community leaders of the Waitaki district.
A new name for Oamaru North School has been unveiled. It's been changed to Te Pākehī o Maru. Runanga o Moeraki Chairman Justin Tipa says the new name refers to its geographic location.
Te Pākehī or Te Pākehī refers to this flat piece of land that the township sits on. So you may have heard of Te Pākehī Whakatekateka o Waitaha or Ka Pākehī, and that refers to the Canterbury Plains. So this refers to this piece of land, Te Pākehī, the flat of Oamaru, hence Te Pākehī o Maru.
The unveiling and blessing were attended by the school's pupils and staff, as well as members of the community. In Oamaru, the South Today.
The art of ploughing was demonstrated at the highest level at the National Ploughing Championships near Gore. Hosted on a Riversdale farm, the event had competitors as young as 13, endeavouring to create the perfect furrow.
Both old-fashioned draft horses and tractors got a chance to shine at the New Zealand Ploughing Championships held at Riversdale. This year was the 66th Ploughing Champs, with entrants competing in conventional ploughing, reversible ploughing, vintage tractor ploughing and horse ploughing. The youngest to take part was 13-year-old Riley Hill, with older hands saying they're keen to pass on the art of ploughing. Competitors are judged according to the straightness of the furrows, how defined the furrows are, the evenness of the furrows, the amount of vegetation left showing, which is ideally none, and the neatness of the furrows. The championships were hosted by the Waimea Plains Ploughing Association at Sonia and Mark Dillon's Riversdale property.
This year's North Otago Relay for Life was about coming together and showing love for those touched by cancer. Despite gloomy skies, almost 200 people turned up for the relay, which was the first one in North Otago since 2015.
At this year's Relay for Life, a pair of giant scissors didn't prove sharp enough to cut through the ribbon, and a normal-sized pair had to do the job instead, before almost 200 supporters started their laps around Oamaru's Takaro Park, with the first circuit being an honorary lap performed by cancer survivors and carers. The event is designed to raise money for a good cause with local roots.
Hopefully we're going to hit a target of about 45,000, and all that money will stay in the North Otago community to help people support them going through their fight with cancer.
24 teams took part in this year's relay, which is the first time the event's been put on in Oamaru since 2015.
We had a few hiccups along the way, being postponed due to COVID level changes, but as you can see today, we've got lots of really happy participants joining in and giving it their all.
The event ran for much of the afternoon, concluding with a candlelight ceremony. In Oamaru, the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, we check in with Dunedin's club rugby scene and we take a look at the weather for the start of the working week. Hea koko ake nei.
What have you got? Okay. Chicks World, party time, excellent.
Love it! Chicks World! Chicks World!
Hi, it's Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. Our 3 stores have got a deal for you. We're going hard, we're going early, so we've gone hard on the prices, 50% off, a great selection. Shorts, look at all these shorts. T-shirts, they're all half price. Check out all those tees along there. What about all these ones down here? Also at a great saving, 50% off. We're going hard, we're going early. Polo shirts, short sleeve shirts, there's such a variety.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
It's the Alex Campbell Menswear, go hard, go early, summer sale. Don't miss this one.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
More!
Hoki mai anō, welcome back. Club rugby kicked off on Saturday with several games played across Dunedin, including Kaikorai versus Dunedin at Kettle Park. Kaikorai won that game comfortably 36-16. Rugby Chat presenter Paul Dwyer discussed the match with two players after the game.
You boys were a bit big and a bit strong. You held onto that ball for long periods of time, especially in the first half.
Yeah, heck yeah, we stuck to our structures and we knew that that's what was going to get us to go forward, especially off 9. Especially big Dunedin side, so we had to back ourselves, especially on those rocks play.
And Cam, I'll bring you in. So, mate, you know, they scored 2 or 3 tries of their own, but you really didn't need to gift them those 3 tries with those 3 intercepts.
I was going to say, Kaikorai is the king of intercepts. I don't know how many Jordan McIntyre scored now, but...
Normally 9 a season.
Yeah, honestly, you come up from a scrum and you see that and you just put it in the bin and we've got to flush that. We probably played with about 25% of the ball today and you can't win footy when you don't have the ball.
You guys, I thought, Christian, defended really well when you had to, and you fed off a lot of Dunedin mistakes.
Yeah, man, the boys shot a lot of ticker, especially on our 5 in that end of that first half, defending on our line. So yeah, full credit to the boys.
And for you, Cam, so it's a tough old day. You're a 20-point loss. So where to here from Dunedin?
Oh, we're not too worried. It's obviously a big season. 20s boys are still away, and we've got a dozen injuries. So I think you've got to keep building. No point dwelling on a first round loss.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South today. A book of condolence for the Duke of Edinburgh's passing has opened in Dunedin following his passing on Friday. A group of toughened southern youths have pulled a huge truck in Invercargill in a contest of humans against machines. And there's a new team looking after the Frankton Motor Camp in Queenstown with plans for the accommodation site's future. Now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, we have Hayden Meikle with us this evening. Kia ora, Hayden.
Good evening, Simon. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you doing?
Good, and there's plenty of news going around today. An interesting angle to the Trans-Tasman bubble is our lead story tomorrow, and it involves orchard owners who we know have been desperately short of labour all summer. Their big concern is that the Trans-Tasman bubble will suck some reporters out of New Zealand. Right. So, using the example of young backpackers who were sort of stuck in New Zealand post-lockdown, they've come to work on the orchards, but as they point out, the Trans-Tasman bubble opens and what appeals more, a sort of frosty morning in Central Otago or a week on the Gold Coast. I think I know what I'd be doing. So that's interesting and another real concern for that industry, which has had a tough year already. So. And speaking of tough years, so Penguin Place is an interesting spot. It's the sort of private tourism business out there at Harrington Point, I think. It's been around nearly 40 years and it's going on the market. It's for sale and there's a lot of concern around who will take this over and what it will mean for the survival of the hoi hole. So very interesting story too. Follow up to Prince Philip's death. There's going to be angles for days, people remembering meeting the Duke of Edinburgh, and we've got a nice story tomorrow with a University of Otago professor who got to use a royal sitting room while he played the piano with Kiri Te Kanawa and meeting Prince Philip, so that's a good yarn. And finally, an interesting story involving a business owner who's putting together photography. He's a photographer with coffee, with a cafe, and seeing what develops. So that's all I'll say about that story because I don't know much more about it, but it's going to be interesting, I bet you, Simon.
Very good, Hayden. I'm sure it will be. Thank you. And time now for a look at tomorrow's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with the situation, a trough of low pressure moves across the South Island tomorrow night. This replaces tomorrow's humid and northerly airflow with rather cold southwesterlies. Now travelling northwest to the northwest of the South Island, probably best to stay indoors. Rain and thunder for both Greymouth and Westport, reaching just 14 and 15 degrees. Moving to the northeast, it's less extreme, 16 and rain for Nelson, Blenheim sunny on 19 degrees. Across to Canterbury, sun 2 for Kaikoura on 18 degrees, Ashburton on 17 degrees with showers. Christchurch in the middle has a bit of both, experiencing showers on 18 degrees. Moving to the southern towns, rain everywhere with winds blowing right through the region but in different directions. Fresh southwesterlies for Lumsden and Gore, both on 15 degrees. Balclutha experiences variable winds reaching 15 as well. And in the Kitlands, northeast winds decrease as rain approaches later on, 16 degrees for you. In central, Te Anau experiences freshening southwesterlies and rain on 15, freshening northerlies for the other three towns with rain later on, 17 degrees for both Wanaka and Queenstown, 18 for Alexandra. To the northern towns, those northerlies and late rain travel to Twizel and Omarama too, both on 17 degrees. 18 for the coastal towns with lighter winds. Late showers may reach Oamaru, while Timaru can expect just cloud. In Dunedin, mostly cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 10. Cloud increases as the day progresses, so too the wind and rain tomorrow, the wind also turning from light northerly winds early on to stronger and cooler southwesterlies, a high of 16 and a low of 9. And it's a grey day with patchy rain Wednesday, southwesterlies blowing throughout, a high of 12 and a low of 9 degrees. And to Invercargill. High cloud increases tonight with an overnight low of 10. That lingers tomorrow, giving way to showers and then rain later on. That's accompanied by southwest winds, a high of 15 and a low of 8. More of the same on Wednesday, I'm afraid, cloudy with showers and strong, cold southwesterlies, a high of 12 and a low of 8 degrees. And that's the news this Monday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Nō reira, kia pai te pō, ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.